Hello, and welcome to Principles of Microeconomics. This is Terry Elan, your professor for this semester, and in this video I'm just going to be going through the Moodle page and the outline so that you guys know what to expect. So on this Moodle page here, you're going to see outline, and if you click on that, you're going to see this other outline here that goes through the structure of the class. So I'm just going to go through that right now. So my name is Terry Lynn. My office is in Cormier Centre, Dobson-Lagacé. On the Moodle page, you'll see here a Bishop's map. So if ever you have to come to my office, just click on that. The building that I'm in is circled. Office hours are by appointment. They could either be in person or via Teams. The best way to reach me is really by email. That's what I receive fastest. If you write me on Teams, if I'm on Teams at that moment, that works. But otherwise, it normally has an hour delay before it emails me to tell me that you sent me any message. So email is better to coordinate. And then once we coordinate, Teams is great for quick chats or if we want to have an actual discussion going on. So just keep that in mind. And then for this class, we're going through microeconomics. So microeconomics is the foundation of many subjects. It's learning how individuals and firms make their decisions. So it's something that's used as a foundation for macroeconomics, but it's also used as a foundation for marketing or finance or other things like that. So it's a very interesting class. The textbook is the Reagan textbook, the 17th edition. People always ask me whether older editions work, and yes, they do. The only issue with older editions is you'll see that there is assigned questions to practice other than the practice quizzes I'll give you on Moodle. And those assigned questions change from one edition to the other. So if you could just find someone with the most recent edition, the 17th edition, and just take pictures or use their textbook to do those questions, then the rest hasn't changed all that much. The course evaluation is the best based on two different evaluation schemes. In the end, you have 10% worth for your online quizzes, which is the best 5 of 7. So these quizzes here, you'll see that there's dates. I used to give you guys set weeks to do these quizzes. I kept those weeks here on the outline to give you a sense of when those should be done. But I actually changed it up for you guys this semester for the first time. I gave for all of these quizzes, so not the midterm, not the final, but for all the quizzes up to April 13th to do them, which is the first day of final exams. And you choose whatever moment you want to start doing it, and you have one chance. So we'll see in the Moodle page that there's practice quizzes that you have an unlimited amount of attempts, and they're not worth anything. And the evaluator quizzes, you only have one attempt. And except for the final one, each of those quizzes typically are 10 questions long, and you have 20 minutes to complete those questions. And they're all multiple choice. And then afterwards, the two different grading schemes, you have the quizzes and regardless, and then one has the midterm and the final, and the other one just has the final. So if ever you do great on midterm, not so great on the final, then this will be the grading scheme. If you screw up the midterm because you had 3 midterms that week and you just didn't get around to studying enough, well, there is the possibility that the midterm does not count. So it's kind of like a fallback plan. But I'd say to not be stressed for the final exam, try to do as best as you can on the midterm. Anyone caught cheating will naturally get a grade of 0 and be reported. And you must pass the final exam to pass the class. So you can't just bank on this and say, oh, I have like 60% going into the final exam, and therefore even if I only get like 45% on the final, I'll pass. No, you need to pass the final exam to pass the class. And the midterm and the final exam will be held in person. The midterm, I know it will be held on February 16th during the Gator block, so no one has classes during that time, and you have to make sure that you make yourself available for that time. And it's going to be in Hamilton 301, which is between Nichols and Johnson, Hamilton building. And the final exam is typically in the gym, but the timing, I'm not sure of it. and the timing could be anywhere during the final exam period, which is April 13th to 24th. And this here gives you a bit of an idea of what to expect week after week. So just kind of use this as notes. And then for each of the quizzes, you'll see on the Moodle page, but it also mentions here which chapters are involved. So the first quiz is chapter 1 and 2/19, and then quiz 2 is chapters 3 and 4, and so on. The final quiz, which is longer, acts as a review for the final. I think it's 25 questions, and you would have like 50 minutes or even actually more than that. I give you more than 2 minutes per question compared to the other quizzes. And this includes all chapters. It shouldn't, if you do well on this, it shouldn't tell you that you're definitely going to do well in the final. But if you do poorly on some questions, then it prompts things to review for the final exam that clearly are not clear for you. So for this class, you have all my notes available to you from the start. This first segment of the Moodle page has all of the notes. These are bigger format, bigger files, like 20 megabytes. So it might take a while to download, but you have access to it all. This is the format to use if you're using on a phone or computer, because you have the full slide. One page is one slide, whereas this one here is on a 4 slide per page format if you were to bring it to the printer and print it out. The bookstore or the print shop has some of my notes already printed, so if you just want to go buy it, they don't charge too much for it. They have this service of these notes that are printed. And if you want to see my online lectures, which you will have to see because this is an online class, you could click on this link. It gives you access to all of the videos in order. And then another thing that I created when I did during COVID is I didn't want people to spend too much time looking at a screen to learn. So I created these, I call them podcasts, but it's just audio files that could be used as an intro or a recap of a certain chapter. Typically it's about half an hour per chapter. This one here, for some reason, might not be in a perfect order. This one here, you could actually download the files if you want to listen to them offline or whatever. So these are available as well. They shouldn't be used to cover all the material, but the difference between these and the videos is that when I speak in these audio only lectures, I don't imagine that you can see the screen and see graphs at the same time. So I try to explain it in a different way, which works for just listening and not looking. Whereas the online videos, well, they go through some of the graphs that you have in these. So you'll see in the notes, some of the slides could be blank, and you have to kind of fill in blank with the graph that I'm gonna draw during these online lectures. Then as practice for the exams and the quizzes, you have assigned questions from the textbook, and then you also have the answers to those questions. The video that I'm creating right now will be linked over here. And then every week you could either open or close them. And typically, like if I just go through a week, this is the material. These notes here are within that larger file that I just showed earlier that had all my notes. These videos here are the same thing as from the larger kind of playlist from YouTube, but it just links the videos that are for that specific week. But if you go through to YouTube videos and you watch like all of these videos, you're fine. And then you have, each chapter has one practice quiz, which consists of 5 questions, and you have a limited attempts. The questions change ordering every time you do it, but it's the same 5 questions. And then if you answer some of these and you either got the question right or you're not sure why that's the right answer, well, I created videos specifically to answer how to go about answering these quizzes. So if you go through one of these videos, you'll be able to see how I would answer this question from chapter 1 and my thought process throughout it. So if there's anything that's not clear within the practice quizzes, look at that. It's just like I said, it might be your question 1, might be my question 3, but it's the same questions. And then at the end of each of these blocks, you sometimes have either an article or a video that you could look at. Those are just kind of extras, applications, coming from real world articles. Some of them are getting older, but generally speaking, it's just applications. And then every second week, or that week that was written on the Moodle page, you have to come down and you have to make sure that you do the evaluated quiz. But like I mentioned, there's no like set week anymore. All of the quizzes you'll see here that they all close at the same time, which is that first day of final exam, April 13th at 5 p.m. So you don't have to ask me for an extension if you missed it or something else. Just make sure to do them all before that moment. So if you prefer to cram through just before the midterm and then just before the final, that works. But in the past, I used to give a given week just because make sure that you stay on track, and hopefully you still stay that way. By having the midterm, hopefully you'll do that, but you could use different strategies depending on what works best for you. And the same kind of thing repeats itself week after week. So you have all of these weeks that you could open or close and so on and so forth. So hopefully everything's clear, you're good to go, and you know what to expect from this class. If you have any questions, do reach out and let me know, and I'll be happy to answer it. All the best, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.